She was America's sweetheart. The girl next door with the golden hair and that smile that made millions feel like everything would be okay. But behind that smile, there was something else. Something she carried alone for years. And now, at 55, Jennifer Aniston has finally said it out loud. The words came quietly. Almost too quietly for someone who spent decades in the spotlight. But that's the thing about truth, isn't it? It doesn't always arrive with fanfare. Sometimes it slips out in a moment of exhaustion. A moment when pretending just becomes too heavy to carry anymore. Jennifer Aniston didn't just admit something. She opened a door. And what we found on the other side. It explains everything. Let's go back to the beginning. Because to understand what she's been hiding, you need to understand where it all started. February 11th, 1969. Sherman Oaks, California. A baby girl is born into a world that seems destined to shape her. Her father, John Aniston, was already a recognizable face on daytime television. Her mother, Nancy Tao, was a model and actress. Hollywood wasn't just nearby. It was home. But here's what people don't talk about. Growing up in the shadow of fame isn't the fairy tale you'd imagine. Jennifer's parents divorced when she was 9 years old. 9, the age when you're still trying to figure out who you are. And suddenly the two people who created your world can't even be in the same room. She's spoken about it before. The tension, the criticism. Her mother was beautiful, yes, but beauty came with expectations. And those expectations, they were crushing. Nancy Tao was tough on Jennifer, critical about her appearance, her weight, her looks. Imagine being a child and feeling like you're not enough. Not pretty enough. Not thin enough. Not perfect enough, so Jennifer learned to smile through it. To be likable, to be the girl everyone wanted around. Because if she couldn't be perfect, maybe she could be loved. High school wasn't much easier. She attended the Rudolph Steiner School in New York City, a place known for nurturing creativity. And Jennifer had that in spades. She joined the drama club. Found solace on stage. Because when you're pretending to be someone else, you don't have to face what's broken inside you. After graduation, she took the leap. Moved to Hollywood. Waited tables. Went to auditions. Got rejected. Again and again and again. This is the part of the story that gets glossed over, but it matters. Jennifer Aniston spent years being told no. Years wondering if she'd made a terrible mistake. Years watching other people get the parts she wanted. She appeared in a few failed TV shows. Malloy, Ferris Bueller. If you don't remember them, you're not alone. Nobody does. They came and went like whispers. And with each cancellation, the doubt grew a little louder. But then, 1994, a script lands in her hands. A new show about 6 friends living in New York City. It's called Friends, and the role of Rachel Green. It's hers if she wants it. She wanted it. September 22nd, 1994. Friends premieres on NBC. Within months, it's not just a show. It's a cultural phenomenon. And Jennifer. She becomes Rachel. The fashionable, funny, lovable girl with a complicated love life and that haircut. You know the one? The Rachel? Women all over the world walked into salons with Jennifer's picture, asking for the same look. Overnight, everything changed. Magazine covers. Award nominations. A salary that went from thousands to millions per episode. She was living the dream. Or so it seemed. Because here's what nobody tells you about fame. It's suffocating. Every outfit is analyzed. Every relationship is dissected. Every pound gained or lost becomes headline news. And for Jennifer, who'd spent her childhood feeling like she wasn't enough, the scrutiny was relentless. But she smiled through it, always smiling. Then came Brad Pitt. Year 2000, They get married in Malibu in what can only be described as a fairy tale wedding. The most beautiful couple in Hollywood. Perfect faces. Perfect careers. Perfect life. The tabloids couldn't get enough. Brad and Jen, America's golden couple. Except fairy tales don't exist. Not really. For 5 years, they were the image of marital bliss. Red carpets. Matching outfits. That photo of them holding hands at the beach. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. Small at first. Then, impossible to ignore, Brad was filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Angelina Jolie. You know how this story ends. By January 2005, Brad and Jennifer announced their separation. The statement is diplomatic. Mutual decision. Remain friends. All the things publicists write when the truth is too messy. But the truth came out anyway. Brad and Angelina. Brangelina. A new couple. A new narrative. And Jennifer. She became the woman who wasn't enough to keep Brad Pitt. The tabloids were vicious. Team Aniston versus Team Jolie. As if her pain was entertainment. As if her heartbreak was something to pick sides over. She was painted as the career-obsessed woman who didn't want children. The selfish one. The one who let him go. And Jennifer? She stayed quiet. Smiled for the cameras. Gave vague, polite answers in interviews. But you could see it in her eyes. The weight of it all, years passed. She dated other men. Vince Vaughn. John Mayer. She even got married again in 2015 to Justin Theroux. A quiet, private ceremony. Maybe this time, things would be different. Maybe this time, she'd found her person 2.5 years later. They announced their separation. Another ending. Another headline. Another round of speculation about what went wrong. And through it all, there was one question that never went away. One question that followed her everywhere. One question that seemed to define her worth in the eyes of the world. Why doesn't she have children? Interviewers asked. Magazines speculated. Strangers felt entitled to opinions about her body, her choices, her life. The narrative was always the same. Jennifer Aniston is incomplete. Jennifer Aniston is missing something. Jennifer Aniston is running out of time. She laughed it off in interviews. Said she was perfectly happy. That she might have kids someday, or maybe not. That it was nobody's business. But the questions kept coming, year after year after year, until now, in a recent interview. Jennifer finally said what she'd been holding back for decades. She opened up about her fertility struggles. About the years she spent trying to get pregnant. About the treatments, the shots, the procedures. The hope that slowly turned into heartbreak. She talked about how she was trying while the tabloids were calling her selfish. While people were saying she chose career over family. While the world was judging her for something she desperately wanted, but couldn't have let that sink in. While she was going through one of the most painful, private struggles a woman can face, the world was making assumptions. Writing narratives. Creating a story about her life that had nothing to do with reality. And she suffered in silence. Because what was she supposed to do? Hold a press conference about her fertility treatments. Share her most vulnerable moments with millions of strangers. Put her pain on display so people would stop judging her. She chose dignity instead. Chose to keep that pain private. Chose to smile even when she was breaking inside. But the cost of that silence. It was enormous. She's talked about the relief she felt when she hit her 40s and 50s. When the pressure finally eased. When her body made the decision for her and she could stop hoping. Stop trying. Stop grieving every month when nothing happened. There's something both heartbreaking and liberating in that confession. Heartbreaking because of what she went through. Liberating because she's finally free from the expectation. From the narrative. From the judgment. Now, at 55, Jennifer Aniston is living her life on her own terms. She's still acting. Still working. Still that warm, genuine presence on screen. But there's something different now. Something settled. Like she's finally comfortable in her own skin in a way she never was before. She's spoken openly about therapy, about self-care, about the importance of surrounding yourself with people who truly see you. Not the version of you the world wants. Not the character you played, but the real you. Messy and complicated and beautifully imperfect. She's also talked about the double standards. How men in Hollywood age gracefully, while women are constantly questioned, criticized, and analyzed. How male actors can be childless and nobody bats an eye but for women. It becomes a referendum on their worth, and she's right. The obsession with women's bodies and reproductive choices is exhausting. It's invasive. It's a constant reminder that no matter what you achieve, no matter how talented or successful or kind you are, some people will always reduce you to one question. Are you a mother? Jennifer Aniston's answer is no. But that doesn't make her less than. It doesn't make her incomplete. It doesn't make her story less valuable. In fact, her story matters more because she's finally telling it. Because she's refusing to let other people define her narrative. Because she's showing millions of women who've struggled with fertility that they're not alone. That their pain is valid. That their choices, whatever they may be, are enough. There's power in that kind of honesty. Real power. The kind that can't be measured in box office numbers or Instagram followers. The kind that changes lives. Jennifer has also found peace in other ways. She's surrounded herself with strong friendships. Her friends' castmates remain close. Courtney Cox is practically family. They vacation together. Support each other. Show up for each other in ways that matter. She's built a production company. Created projects she believes in. Used her platform to speak about mental health, self-acceptance, and the importance of being true to yourself. And yes, she's still stunning. Still has that smile. Still radiates warmth. But now there's something else. Wisdom. Resilience. The kind of strength that only comes from surviving things that tried to break. You, looking back at everything Jennifer has been through. The admission makes perfect sense. Of course, she was carrying something heavy. Of course, there was pain beneath the surface. You don't go through what she went through and come out unmarked. But you can come out whole. Different, maybe. Changed, definitely. But whole, that's what Jennifer Aniston has shown us. That you can face heartbreak, betrayal, public scrutiny, private pain, and still find your way to peace. That happiness doesn't look the same for everyone. That the path you thought you'd walk sometimes leads somewhere completely different. And that's okay. At 55, Jennifer Aniston isn't just admitting what we suspected. She's reclaiming her story. She's refusing to be reduced to headlines and speculation. She's standing in her truth, messy and complicated as it is, and saying, this is who I am. This is what I've been through. And I'm still here, and she's thriving. Working on projects she loves. Spending time with people who matter. Living a life that's full and meaningful in ways that have nothing to do with societal expectations. That's the real confession. Not just about fertility struggles, but about the cost of fame, the weight of judgment, the price of perfection, and the freedom that comes when you finally stop trying to be what everyone else wants and start being yourself. Jennifer Aniston has given us so much over the years: laughter, entertainment, characters we fell in love with. But this gift of honesty and vulnerability, this might be her most important role yet, because somewhere out there, a woman is struggling with infertility and feeling alone. Somewhere out there, someone is being judged for choices that are nobody's business. Somewhere out there, a person is carrying pain in silence because they don't think anyone would understand. and now they know. Jennifer Aniston understands. Jennifer Aniston sees them. Jennifer Aniston has been there. At 55, she's not just America's sweetheart anymore. She's a survivor, a truth teller, a reminder that behind every smile, there's a story. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is tell it. If Jennifer's story resonated with you, let us know in the comments what moment touched you most. And if you want more deep dives into the real lives behind Hollywood's biggest names, make sure you're subscribed to Luminoir. We're just getting started.